Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Welcome to the Accredited, powered by 10th year seniors here on Guardian Radio 96.9, and now proudly brought to you by our benevolent sponsors at Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. And also, we are going to build this airplane in the sky today because 5 minutes ago, I learned that we have now expanded to 2 hours.
I just love the flow of the show. I'm Ricardo, and of course, as now mentioned, we're now proudly sponsored by our friends over at Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. And in addition to that, we have a second sponsor. Bud Light is now sponsoring a segment as well, so we're going to get to all of that during today's show. But if you want to join the conversations, of course, telephone lines are open at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free from the Family Islands at 242-300-5720. Our text line is also open. That's powered by BTC. You can hit us up at 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Standard text rates apply.
First of all, let's start with some housekeeping business.
Go ahead. We can't get in trouble. Let me say that first of all, but go.
Oh, yeah, I got to behave now, sponsors. Anyway, if you are a member of Corporate Bahamas and you have not gotten on the 10th year seniors bandwagon, you are falling behind. And it may get to the point where you are unable to catch up because, see that? 2 sponsors now.
So let me just say it for the record. I came in here for the first time.
How are we doing on the third?
That's what I'm going to address. We're here now. I am without coffee. So hopefully...
And big opening happening today?
Hopefully, we can get that coffee situation sorted out. So yeah, our friends over at that company, please know that we definitely want you guys on board. We have a special treatment just available for you guys to pull that off. So if you're interested, the numbers are there. Just hit us up and let us know if you want to get it done. But yeah, very, very excited to now have our sponsors on board. We have a tremendous show planned today, and it's just me and I'll know John, but we could hold it together.
Housekeeping business number 2. Now, I couldn't help but notice that we have a new promo out there. It's very interesting.
Go ahead.
I
hope the wife's listening.
It is definitely an attention grabber. It grabbed my mother's attention.
Oh, God.
And I got a call immediately. And if you know the stereotypical Bahamian mother, goes to church like 7 times a week, sits in front in Bible study, has a wide array of church hats. You can imagine how this landed on her doorstep when she heard 2 hours of 10th year seniors, bigger, longer, followed by a moan. I got this call, Ronaldo, what is this? And I said, Mom, this is our promo. This is how our benevolent sponsors at Guardian Radio have decided that this is how we are going to reach the people. We are going to be bigger and longer. Every Saturday.
But she should be proud of us. We're expanding. We're doing everything in our power to ensure.
Clearly, based on the ad, we are expanding.
Yes, but it's an exciting time now. Let's celebrate. People want more sports. They want more 10YS.
People celebrated with a spank. I heard a spank on it.
You heard it. That's the part I was texting on. You had that, the spank. I was like, well, I did not, and I didn't put it together. But
people really thought this was us. And I understand that's on our brand because if we were going to do stuff, we were going to troll people, right? Because we probably don't respect the cathedral of a lot of this stuff as everybody else does. So it seems like something that we would have done, but we didn't.
No, in fact, that has been the proudest moment of this whole ordeal for me. Because people was like, that's y'all. That could never be Guardian. And I was like, so? For the first time in my life, I could proudly say I was in 10YS.
My mom said to me, what are y'all doing to those people's radio station? And I was like, Mommy, I heard it just like you. I had no idea. Great ad, though.
Yeah, perfect ad. But of course, with that said, just to officially state, we're now 2 hours on Saturday. For the first couple of weeks of this new experience, we're going to progress. We're going to go and dive back into our podcast route. So as we get to that part of the show, we're going to explain to you how you could stay in contact with us to ensure that if you can't call, there's different ways to keep the communication lines open with the 10YS team to be a part of the sports conversation. And as Niall said, we're now a part of the bigger, longer, better Guardian Radio Saturdays. So up after us, we have Tell It to Stanya and we just run down the line. Shout out to the people on right before us. Why are you giggling? We're being good.
I like when you do your thing.
Oh boy.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but shout out to our friends that were on right before us, and hopefully we can keep this going.
I feel like that was a direct shot at me. Like, hopefully,
But Johnny here,
hopefully
so
you don't do anything for us to not be able to keep this
John
going.
is not here, so we just gotta go. But let's talk
I
sports.
miss him every day. All right, so obviously we start with what's the lead. That is our biggest topic of the week. That is the thing that has captured the Bahamian zeitgeist the most in the world of sports. Sometimes it'll be outside of the world of sports, but I think this week we have to start with Jazz.
Right.
We have to start with the whole drama surrounding the wild card round for the Yankees. He was right at the center of it. There was so much going on. Let me give them the backstory first before we dive into this, Carter. So, Yankees, Red Sox, everybody knows what comes along with that.
Yeah.
There have been books, there have been documentaries. Everything you need to know about that is well documented. So, game one, Aaron Boone, and I think we have to understand that in today's baseball, it's no longer just a manager's decision,
Yeah.
but the manager has to be the meat shield for the front office.
Right.
But anyway, Aaron Boone decides that based on analytics and the numbers of the head-to-head matchup with Crochet and the Yankees lineup, that Jazz, Ben Rice, and Ryan McMahon would come off the bench in game one if they saw action at all. Jazz did eventually end up pinch hitting. Huge controversy because obviously Jazz had a 30-30 season. Ben Rice had one of the hottest bats in the Yankee lineup, and they won 8 straight games to conclude the year.
regular season.
So everybody's thinking, well, why mess with what is working? And you know, in the biggest sports media market, the flame was lit under Aaron
Immediately.
Boone. What did you,
Immediately.
just your immediate thoughts when you saw those 3 guys were out of the lineup?
See, I can't criticize because baseball has been that sport that has led the analytic conversation. So when it comes to analytics, there is always truth to be bared out in those sorts of conversations. So when Aaron Boone presented the case, like you said, we knew immediately it wasn't just him. He looks like the kind of guy who's going to say, yeah, analytics, cool, but I trust these guys. You mentioned the 8 games coming down the stretch. We know what Jazz had to do to push for 30-30. So all of these things kind of pushed you into this position where you recognize quickly this was not a manager's decision to put Jazz on the bench. You realize it was a lot more at play. And then it played out. They dropped the game. Crochet did spectacular. It didn't really make a difference that you didn't keep him in the lineup. So all that made the perfect storm. And instead of the media just try to focus, and this is the part I hated about it, why would you start the conversation with Jazz being that you know he's going to be the one, like he said, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I speak the way I speak. You know he was going to be the one to fan the flames.
But that's why you do it. So think about what the media's job is. They wasn't going to go to Ben Rice. They wasn't. Of course you go to Jazz because you, like you said, he is going to fan the flames because you know what you want? You want that clip.
Yeah.
You want that sound.
They got it. They got it.
You want that engagement. They didn't get it how they really wanted though.
They got enough. They got enough to...
So if you didn't see it, Jazz didn't turn around to face the media. He answered the questions. He did what he's contractually obligated to do because you do have to answer the questions. But he turned his back and he was, searching through his clothes. And I know what that was. That was I don't want to get deep into this conversation because I may not control what I'm saying, and then that is only going to exacerbate the whole thing.
Right.
So he did that. It was announced shortly thereafter that the regular starting lineup would be back in game 2. Yankees go on, have an amazing finish, and the amazing finish centers around Jazz.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know. You couldn't have scripted it
So
any better.
all the chat groups was buzzing in game 2 because, of course, we know Jazz was a stand-up player in game 2. So it became even more of a situation because the question then became, why would you make a decision like that, knowing what you went through? I wouldn't even just center on the 8 games right before. It was an 8-game win streak. But then the last 15, you know what you went through with that lineup. You know what that lineup produced for you. Critics or not, Crochet or not, why would you not trust your guys to get it done game 1? Like that is what made it all worse.
See, the thing about it is, and analytics itself focuses strictly on numbers, but I do feel like you have to find a balance. We know there's been a struggle in baseball over the last 2 decades between the numbers and the older. You got to have a feel for the game generation. I feel like you always got to meet somewhere in the middle with that. You can't be firmly entrenched on one area or the other because what Jazz brings to the Yankees lineup is something that the other players do not have. That electricity, that playmaking ability. I mean, for lack of a better term, that swag, that ability to connect with fans, you can't measure that on a stat sheet. Like, there was nobody else in that Yankees lineup that was gonna score from first on that Austin Wells single.
Right.
Nobody else was gonna do that. Like, that's something different. That's an element that team desperately needed and that he provides. I don't know how you take that out of the lineup unless you think you're gonna hit like 6 homers.
And I know you and John has always criticized me and tell me I need to be a bigger homer
Constantly.
when it comes to people like Jazz.
But this is why we have to
No.
be, because look at what those people do.
I was just about to say. I've never been. I watch a lot of baseball. This was the first time I felt joy for a team that's not the Mets. Seeing what he had to go through, pinch hitting in game 1, coming in game 2, and produce. That felt special. That's the proudest I felt in a long time watching a baseball game. My Mets, we know what happened to them, but
Which we're gonna get to.
I don't want to talk about it.
You have,
but
the show is about talking.
That is true. But watching Jazz in game 2, it really made me happy to see a guy not only put his emotions aside and realize, like, this is my moment. This is what I trained to get to the point to do. And for him to show up the way he did in game 2 and then coming back in game 3, spectacular first round.
It was literally a national hero moment.
Yeah.
Like, that is something that I feel like we should always remember. Like, that play honestly should go up there with some of the greatest sports moments. And I'm talking about not just something happening, something that we all watch, a monoculture moment. That play should be up there. So for game 2 in the wild card round, and there have been times when the stakes have been bigger, but just having the impact in that moment, and it wasn't even just that, making perhaps the defensive play
Correct.
of the game the inning
Correct.
before. Like, he was doing it on both ends. On both sides of the ball. And this was a night where Jazz couldn't get a hit. This was a night where he went 0 for 3.
Yeah.
But in that critical at bat, drew the walk, and that's why he was on first to make that play. Like I said, nobody else in the Yankees lineup was scoring from first on that. Like, to go from being bench to being the man, and to handle that press conference after game 2 with that level of one, even better in game 2, because he immediately shut down any sort of suspicion
Boney's my guy.
there was a problem between him and Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
So they move on to saying all that. They moved on to game 3. None of it would have mattered if they lost game 3. Like, absolutely. For all the great platitudes we had, none of it would have mattered. They had to win that game.
So, and the beauty of it, this is a series against Boston, as you mentioned. We know the history between these two clubs. We know what it means for these two cities. And to see it play out like that, going to a decisive game 3 where, you know, in baseball, this part of the season, pitching is everything. And to still see it come down to a degree, a player like Jazz producing, is something terrific the entire week.
So now we move on to the ALDS, sorry. Well, we move on to the divisional round in both leagues. Jazz and the Yankees Jazz and the Yankees are moving on to face the Toronto Blue Jays. Has that developed into to me, it's developed into a rivalry recently.
Why? Because it's Toronto?
Yeah.
This is where I'm confused. Because I saw the hype.
I love Toronto.
That's personal. But
Yeah.
what I was confused by is, like, all of the
very
Yankee fans after the game, like, just throwing jabs at Toronto. And I was like, bro, they ain't never been at this level of a threat. Like, allow the series to develop. If this becomes they reminded me for the first time that they are New York Knicks. Because you out in the streets wilding for no reason. Just give the guys a chance.
I don't know how to turn off my love for Toronto, and it's going to be difficult. Like, yeah, no, with the Blue Jays themselves, I could absolutely do that. But, like, Toronto is a city. I don't know how to root against Toronto, the city. It's given me so much, and
Go ahead.
It's difficult to talk about. Sometimes it brings me to tears how happy Toronto makes me.
But let's talk about the baseball. From the baseball standpoint, Toronto Blue Jays, they've had a really good season. Coming into
they're the favorites to win game 1.
Right.
They're the favorites to win the series.
I was about to say, why you leave it at game 1? They have had a season that a lot of people did not predict. The lineup has been up and down all year, but they found a way to literally just get games out the mud. Literally, they've got games out the mud this year.
And also for 80s and 90s baseball babies, this is the team that makes us feel old, but simultaneously is kind of cool because you got Dante Bichette's kid. You got Vladimir Guerrero's kid. You got Craig Biggio's kid. Like all of these people who we grew up watching, and now we see their kids are on the same team, which is kind of cool.
I have the running joke in some of my baseball circles where I call them.
You have baseball circles?
You have wrestling circles, I have baseball circles.
Wait, hold on. You have multiple baseball circles?
Yeah, you have the set that you talk to like in chats, and then you have the group that in the barbershop just chatting back and forth. You have those sorts of circles.
Wow.
But the issue, the way you mention it, we've seen these guys, we've seen them grow up. It feels weird because it's like they're the traveling rec league team. Like, you know all of their dads, so you imagine them to be just a carbon copy. So it's been terrific to see these guys develop. We know what Vlad Jr. is. We know the strength that comes with that. We've seen him produce year after year. And this is the best team that he's had in quite some time to get the job done. So from that standpoint, I want Jazz to win because of everything else.
You can stop the sentence there.
Okay.
And then
Because you know where I go.
Yeah, I'm not even going to allow you. I'm going to save you from that. I want Jazz to win. Just leave it there. And I think some Bahamians, well, I know specifically young Bahamian baseball kids have a connection with Bo Bichette because the first 2 years of the Don't Blink Home Run Derby, he was here and he put on amazing performances, and it felt like he was a part of Bahamian baseball. So I'm sure they kept in touch with Bo and what his career was like. Went on to be an all-star and that whole kind of thing. But can't really root against you this round, Bo. Okay. I can't do it. You need some time for the Mets.
No,
it is a Bahamian story.
I was over it. Go ahead.
Before you go there, the Mets, after that woefully disappointing season that left everybody running for the hills, they immediately, I think yesterday, they put out their coaching changes the day before. Anton Richardson will be back as first base coach.
That was the only one. See, when you finish, I can get to it.
That was the whole thing. So I just was watching to see, because usually when you have a season like that, some people got to go. But as the first base coach for the New York Mets, it wasn't his fault.
I don't feel like the issue with the New York Mets is the coaching staff. When you have a group of players, the way the Mets have, I'm not going to say overpriced, very expensive guys. You need somebody in that clubhouse to know how to rally them day after day through 162 games. I had this conversation with Alexis and Javon in one of the groups.
In one of your baseball circles.
Yes. Well, ironically, this is a wrestling circle.
No,
but Alexis was the first.
In a wrestling
right.
circle.
So he brought it up, and I was like, I don't know why people shocked. I'm a Mets fan, and I could tell you this was how it was going to end. We had two of the worst baseball stretches that you would ever see, both after the All-Star game. There was no way you could recover from that. The energy in that locker room was...
Cotto, you could recover from that
You
by
could
beating
not.
the Marlins 3 times.
But the energy that was displayed from the end of the All-Star break showed me that this team had no fight in them.
The Marlins were playing for nothing. They were only playing to ruin the Mets season.
Correct.
That's it.
And that's all they needed, because we were not playing for anything at all.
No.
They had something to play for.
The Mets could... this was at the point where the Mets could still get in.
I know that. But what I'm trying to say to you is, those guys were already planning vacations. Those guys
They
were...
could have vacation anyway.
Emotionally, nothing was there.
You know when Soto had emotion? Last year, when he was in Bronx. Just saying,
Because-
all money ain't good money.
Hold on. And this is the part that pissed me off the most. Why could we not get this team to balance out? The start of the year, we had Alonso. Coming down to the All-Star break, Lindor showed up.
Oh, yeah, Big Meat Pete says he's out of there.
Bro, you need somebody in that locker room to get these guys to say, bro, it's 162 games. We got to get it together. We got to keep pace. We got to show up week after week. There was a stretch where we lost like 11 games.
Show up for the final stretch run of the regular season. At least that. If you ain't gonna show up for 162, show up for them last 12. You know what I mean? If you know it.
Bring it down to the Marlins. I was trying to let this go.
You know how much content we were robbed of just because we could have been following the whole New York playoff chase with Anton and Jazz? And we got robbed of that content because y'all couldn't stop the Marlins.
I actually, and this is why I had no doubt Anton was going to be back. But I need Anton, once he has some time to like decompress after all of it, we just need him in the seat for like 5 minutes to let you know how much heart the New York Mets did not have the last 20 games of the season. I just need that.
I don't think he's gonna say that.
Bro, if you watch his face in the Marlins series, you can look at him and be like, I want to fight them, but
Yeah.
I want. He looked like he was ready.
The Bahamian in him
He was so
bubbling beneath the
vexed.
surface.
He was vexed, but
If they did a post-game interview with him like how they did with Jazz, he too would be turned toward his locker, sorting through his clothes, and absolutely not wanting to look any reporter in the eye.
it was horrendous for the amount of money spent to put this team together. To see it fall apart the way it did, especially against the Marlins, a team that we have. The Marlins have gotten games from us this year, but it's
Horrible team to bet against.
Boy, look here.
Ruined me so many times because I'm like,
When you need them to show up, they don't eat at all. But the very moment you need them to be what they are, they're like, no, we can play good tonight, bro. Watch us.
I'm gonna go off the top of my head. I feel like if I bet against the Marlins 40 times, or if I had the Marlins as a part of a parlay 40 times this year, and I bet for them to lose, I think they won all 40 of those games.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, I really do. I really do. Honestly, I think if I bet against them 162, they would be the only perfect team in the history of Major League Baseball.
That's crazy work. But no, it just brings it full circle. And this is why I was saying earlier, the joy I felt watching Jazz, the pain the Mets provided this season, Jazz just healed all of that instantly. Because what it did, it made me realize how good baseball could be when guys actually want to win.
Yes.
Like that's all I can sum it up. When guys actually want to win, it's a lovely game.
Sports can be simple that way, right? So, you know what? When you try really hard, but honestly, that's the secret sauce to why people love the playoffs and why people like the NCAA tournament, because it's a one-game sample size. It's not like it's a series, and this is also why people love the Super Bowl. You have to have maximum effort for that one time.
Right.
Maybe this is also why Bahamians love elections. You have to have maximum effort that one time, and then if you don't, that's it. Because
matter.
ain't no coming back. That makes the whole thing great. I get it. Huh. Yeah, that is the secret sauce to win.
But I just need Anton 5 minutes. 5 minutes. He ain't got to give like all the backstory because probably one or two people can hear the show back home and it'll probably make no. But he ain't got to give us all the tidbits. All I need to find out from him, what they was talking about the last couple of games. But like who really was the first one to say, yeah, I got the boat going out? Because clearly nobody wanted to leave Miami.
Brandon Nemo.
I'm not gonna let you do Nemo like that.
I don't know. You said I had to pick one. That's who I picked. It was not Soto because Soto ain't going on the boat to Miami. Soto going back to the DR for a bit.
He probably could have got a direct flight. And he's like, it's quicker, save gas. So I go back up to New York.
You know how much nothing.
Ironically, he still have like the one thing he wanted. I needed a clubhouse. I needed transportation. If you ever read his contract, he was ensured that all the little extra spending we got to do, it could be me doing the extra spending.
Uncle Dennis really set the tone for how this stuff's supposed to be run.
We got to really get into that. Shout out to Uncle Dennis.
Ask these people for everything.
Matter of fact, let me just say it now since we get on the topic. All the young kids in the Bahamas right now who have any aspirations to
Get your
become
Uncle Dennis, bro.
Right now, go through, sit all of your uncles down or any granduncle, sit any extended father figure in your life down and question it. How good are you getting money, bro?
Get you an Uncle Dennis. Because you know what? You got to ask.
Definitely.
If you don't ask, then you ain't gonna never get it, right? So let's go quickly before we have to head to a break. 4 o'clock this afternoon, it's Yankees, Blue Jays. We said the Blue Jays are favored, but how do you feel going into the game?
I definitely feel like the Blue Jays are going to win, but I feel like Jazz is going to have a good series. Emotionally, I want Jazz to continue to keep this. I don't have nothing to root for, so that's my guy for right now. I just think Toronto is a tad bit better.
People have been saying all season when the Yankees aren't hitting homers, the Yankees are not a very good team. It's either home runs or bust.
Because that's the truth.
I didn't say it was lying. I'm just saying that's just what it's been. But you're correct about the Jazz assessment. I feel like the emotional weight that's been lifted off the 3-game series. By the way, the wild card having three games just in one team city, that is crazy to me. But I think the Yankees take game 1. Mm-hmm. I think they get off to a fast start and they're not gonna have to play from behind like they did in the Blue Jays series. I do not have faith in the Yankees bullpen, but I do have faith in their starters. I just need management. I need the front office. I need Aaron Boone. I need everybody to just let these pitchers extend themselves just a little more. Because if I'm rolling headed into the 7th inning, let me take the 7th inning. You know what? Let me go 8. What happened to the days of just bringing in Mariano Rivera in the 9th inning and let him shutting stuff down? Like, just let me go if I'm rolling. I know what the numbers say. I know people say, you know what, you don't want the lineup to see them 3 times, blah, 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 100 pitches or whatever. Sometimes you got to feel the game. You got to put your hand in the dirt.
Toronto. He said all that to say Toronto. He's Toronto.
I love Toronto, but I love Toronto. Are we going to a break?
No, we're going to jump in straight into the Bud Light segment. Good.
Are we not playing? Okay, let's jump. Okay, so we have.
Having a bit of technical difficulties. Trying to get our Bud Light break go up.
No worries.
Ultimate Bud Light 6-packs of Bud Light at any Jimmy's Wines and Spirits location or at participating liquor stores. And you're automatically entered to win. You could score an all-expense-paid trip to watch the Dolphins game live. Don't wait. Grab your Bud Light and get in the game today. Bud Light is distributed by Jimmy's Wines and Spirits, who reminds you to drink in moderation.
So obviously Bud Light has come on board. They are going to be our partners in this experience, and they have come on board at an amazing time, as you heard in the commercial. This is legitimately a prize, yes, to go and watch the Dolphins play. That is something that you will win an opportunity to do. I hope you get to go and watch them play against a good team. But the experience in Hard Rock Stadium is great nonetheless, no matter who you're watching.
John has criticized me for this, but Hard Rock Stadium is one of my favorite stadiums in the league.
I don't believe you.
Hold on.
Which side you sitting on?
Of course. I don't know what you call it in Hard Rock, but they have like a little visor, the shade section.
Thank you.
But in Hard Rock, if you go the right time of the year, please don't go in September. My birthday is in September, so I'm normally in Hard Rock in September, but please don't go in September. Late October, early November, especially when the Bud Light promotion is going on, best time to go. You're going to have an amazing experience. They have some of the best fan zones. I can't even explain the environment around Hard Rock as you get into the stadium. There's always something going on. There's always something popping. And I think Bud Light is doing a tremendous job getting fans to experience not only the hype of the Miami Dolphins.
So, as one of Bud Light's many themes, with the one that we like the most, Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. So we present this segment, the Bud Light Easy Take of the Week. This can be a sports topic. Sometimes it's not going to be a sports topic, but it's something that we feel like it's very agreeable, something very easy for us to get along with, something that should get close to a 100% approval rating. And our Bud Light Easy Take of the Week is inspired by what we were talking about in our first segment, and it's inspired by jazz. We do not do enough for our athletes locally in terms of endorsements, in terms of getting that superstar feeling here. I got that. I just came to that realization because Jazz was in that moment that we talked about, scoring that game-winning run, international superstar. And then you think back to here and you don't see his face anywhere.
I don't mean to distract you, but when you said international superstar, the only thing I could think about, and shout out to my little niece, when she was small, she used to watch a show, I think it's called Backyardigans, and they had a song in there.
You know it was Backyardigans.
It's Backyardigans. I couldn't remember, but like the Super Spy.
Nobody mistakenly says it might have been Backyardigans.
I think
that is way too specific.
I know for a fact she watched a show called Backyardigans, but I don't know.
They all did.
I don't know if the Super Spy song was in Backyardigans or some other show.
It absolutely was.
Oh, it was? Okay, perfect.
That's where you take the show. I'm the one that creates chaos, and that's where you take the show.
You said he was an international superstar for some strange reason. All I heard in my mind is Super Spy. Like that's all I heard. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to be better, but go ahead.
Bud Light paid for this. So in this moment, Jazz, this international superstar, and then my mind immediately shifted back to here, and then you don't. So think of the people from New York, right? Think of after this postseason's done, they're taking a vacation in the Bahamas. They think Josh Chisholm is this amazing superstar to us here as Yankee fans in New York. I know when I go to the Bahamas, they must have statues of him. There must be billboards of Jazz everywhere. He must be on the cover of every drink or every food container. It's got to be Jazz Mania down in the Bahamas, right? So if I'm a New Yorker, that's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then you come here and it's not that at all. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a single company here that has Jazz as a spokesperson, or he has an endorsement deal with anybody.
I don't think there's an endorsement deal, but I think he has some sort of There may be deals in place. I don't know to what extent.
The visibility is at a zero, so those deals are horrible.
And see, that's kind of where I draw the line. It doesn't even have to be like some astronomical multi-million-dollar deal. You could sign him for some likeness. You throw him up on a couple of billboards. You could use him in this segment of the year just to promote whatever campaign you got going on. You know, have him there swinging the bat, hitting the ball, doing something. And you could use that, like how Live did a couple of years ago with Shawnee and Foreman and Stevie. I think he was on a couple of billboards, some things like that. So that is definitely the thing. The question now are companies unable to spend that sort of money, or is there some limitation? Is like Jazz team not, accessible? What is it? It has to be something.
So whether it's from either side, and you know how I go, I tend to side with the athletes more than I side with management, more than I side with any corporation. But the reason why I don't feel like this is completely on the athletes is because we've seen this. We've been seeing this. We've been saying this. Like, we've seen it for decades. It's not been enough. It wasn't enough from Michael Thompson was winning championships with the Lakers, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. So I just don't see how we don't see these people as these brand ambassadors like they should be. He was on the cover of MLB The Show 2 years ago.
See, no, that's the part that threw me for a loop, because when he made the cover, it's just of course, cultural ambassador. I know he's all of those things. But I thought at the very least we would have a billboard erected that was going to be across the years. I thought we were going to have like a street sign, something. I thought there was going to be something put up just to commemorate, whether it was at Freedom Farm.
The community that he's from is right there. Yeah. Grove is literally right there. The park that they always tell the story about when he went with his grandmother to go to practice, that is right there. But there is nothing. Jazz, his foundation has a little league that's played every fall, and I don't even see that being supported in the way that I feel like it should be. So this has got to be one of those easy takes that everyone can get on board with. When is it going to be the time that we recognize and appreciate these people that are doing these things on the international stage, and we do it in some tangible way here?
I want to be careful, especially now that we're in silly season. A lot of people take issues like that and they try to conflate it into the political discussion.
Oh no, that's fine. That's when people like us have to take advantage of it.
Hold on, let me explain to you why I want to be careful here.
Ask for stuff, Uncle Dennis.
Definitely get your Uncle Dennis. Kids, again, line them all up, find out who know how to get to the money. And once you find out one, let's get it going. But this conversation, I don't want it to be both sides have done. And when I say both sides, both of our major political parties, once they're in government, both of them. Shout out to Danny Johnson. That's where the flowers stop. All of them have done an awful job of figuring out how we connect the talent that we produce in this country, whether it's on the track, whether it's on the baseball pitch, whether it's on the basketball courts, soccer, volleyball, across the board. All of them have done awful jobs converting that in to currency. And when I say currency, I don't mean just monetary. I'm talking about cultural significance. I'm talking about marketability. All of these things have fallen by the wayside because we have not found a way to convert the stardom of these persons into cachet for our country. And that's what is most troubling to me.
And when you mentioned currency and then you talked about, where is the disconnect? Is it in his team, or perhaps, alluding to maybe it may be a disconnect in what you feel like your worth should be?
When I say that, I'm not referring to what his team is doing for him in the U.S. market. I'm talking about specifically here because you could see, and we talked about this a couple of shows ago, we could see the work his team is doing. We've seen him on the correct podcasts. We've seen him on ESPN. We've seen him across the news stations. We've seen him everywhere that he needs to be. But for some strange reason, when it gets back to the Bahamas, that same spectacular element of Jazz that we see all throughout the press in the U.S., that seems to be missing here.
And which I don't get, because even after his first breakout season with the Marlins, the minute when they were out of the playoffs, MLB Network decided this guy needs to be on TV as an in-studio analyst with us. Like, how are these people seeing it and you are not seeing it at home? And then this is where the disconnect lies with a lot of athletes, and you could go to Jazz and you could name countless amounts of others. The price that I have in the U.S., like, that's the price. Like, if my appearance fee, I'm just saying it at random, if my appearance fee for something is I'm getting $30,000 as an appearance fee just for me to show up at this event, when I come home, you can't expect me to do something for $2,000 and just say this is off the love or this is just off the strength of national pride. It's not going to work that way. It's especially not going to work that way if I know there's people in the city getting money, getting major money.
And see, again, this is where the issue comes into play, because you look at it and you have advertisement dollars. We had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. We see the advertisement dollars. How is it that we can't now translate the presence of Jazz the way that the U.S. market does into him being here to be that superstar, for him to be the thing that everybody in the community rallies behind? Because that's what they're using for inside of New York right now.
Yeah.
He makes the school visits. He makes the community visits. He interacts with the kids. That would be no more important if there needs to be some form of conversation. I don't know if it's a situation where the system for this to happen does not exist, and probably that's the drawback. Maybe that's the issue. So I don't know if it's a Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture thing. I don't know if it's a Ministry of Tourism. I don't know if it's an Office of the Prime Minister thing. I don't even know if it's a government thing. It could be a community thing. It could be a baseball community thing, a Freedom Farm thing, a JBLN thing. Whatever it is, I think we need to have a central voice to establish the fact that we have world-class athletes that could not only move their individual sports disciplines forward, but they could help move us as a country forward. Because we always live in this moniker. We live where people want a vacation. That same place where people want a vacation are producing some of the biggest athletic stars in the world. This is what people want to come and see. People all over America, all over Canada, all over the Western Hemisphere wants to come and see where VJ Edgecombe came up. Let's put it together.
And that's the thing. Like, yeah, Jazz is just the avatar for this conversation that we're using right now, but we have them everywhere. Like, right. Think about how insane it is that right now, all-star second baseman for the Yankees, there's starting center for the Lakers, number 3 pick in the NBA draft. You have multiple NBA lottery picks.
It was all over Twitter just the other day. VJ, for some strange reason, thought he could have dunked the world in his first preseason year.
He always thinks so.
Right, but this one was kind of...
He actually had one. They're playing right now.
Right.
He actually has one.
he had one already.
Yeah.
So that one went viral, and the story started all over again. You saw it shoot up the timeline. This kid from the Bahamas is special. I can't believe they have talent like this in the Bahamas. And I hate to say it, that was the moment for us again to build attraction. Where's the Ministry of Tourism at for VJ Edgecombe? Hey, come see Bimini. Come see. Like, you could make that a thing.
I'm laughing because I happen to know of certain overtures that were made and the asks that were made and the price for those asks. It was an extreme disconnect. That's why I said, you're not gonna lowball me and then ask for the world. There has to be more of. We need to get on the same page, basically.
But see, and this is why I say I don't know if it's a system thing. Matter of fact, let me even try to talk around. Let me talk directly to it. I don't know if it's a situation where we say to ourselves, because they Bahamian, they deserve less.
No, but see, and that's like there's cognitive dissonance in that,
and that's what I'm saying.
There, because this goes back to that. This goes back to sort of an entire colonial mentality where we don't value and look at our people the same way, and that's why I started this by saying, you can't expect me to get $30,000 to appear at some place when I'm at home. Like, I need to be appreciated I should be appreciated by my people first, by the way. You know what's a great way to show me you appreciate me? By tangible means. It ends up in my bank account.
But see, we have a text right now who's saying the exact same thing. He put it in bold text, product. I tell you, product is our challenge. We do understand the power of, I assume he meant to say don't. Most of our businesses are successful because of a captive market. They don't compete for their bags, so they don't market. They do Absolutely. PR well, but not all of the P's. I don't know what he's trying to say there, but something to think about.
Oh, that's Dale.
Okay.
So absolutely correct. But I think there is competition there. I think there is competition. I think they don't know how to compete.
No, they
should be competing.
And that's what he's saying. He's saying that we just exist. We just do the PR well. We interact, we engage, we do that. But in terms of actually competing against each other, so let's say somebody in the fast food industry is saying, hey, I have a burger to sell. The idea they're never going to use is to say, I'm going to use Josh Chisholm to sell my burger. I'm not saying that that's a perfect mix, but I'm just saying, like, that's the idea. Somebody's going to, if it was the U.S., somebody's going to say, hey, have a really good cheeseburger, but you know what made that cheeseburger better? If I put that in the
Rooms out right now. I just had nuggets the other day, and there was a whole
Using
Wednesday.
nuggets?
Yeah, but of course, there was a whole Wednesday campaign.
Correct.
We can be doing the same
Correct.
kind of things, but you know who is trying to compete? You know who is doing a better job of the P's and the R? Bud Light. And Bud Light is sending Bud Light is sending lucky fans to the Miami Dolphins, because that apparently is a prize. Bahamas, Bud Light has your ticket to the big game. Buy 2 6-packs today and enter to win a trip to see the Dolphins play live. Purchase yours today at Jimmy's Wines and Spirits or any participating vendors.
And again, just to pour on credit to Bud Light, they've done a tremendous job. They've been really good corporate sponsors
I
across.
love how your tone shifts when you go into company man mode.
Well, you got to.
It's an amazing thing to watch.
You got to. But hold on, let me get back to my
Go
sponsors.
back on your soapbox.
Let me go back to my sponsors.
You were on the soapbox before. You stepped
Yeah,
down
I stepped
from the
out.
soapbox
I stepped
to
out.
be company man. Let's go.
Right.
Do you
So Bud Light has been tremendous community sponsors across the Bahamas in recent years. We talk about football; they're now synonymous with when it comes to the NFL. They have hosted some of the best Super Bowl parties that we've seen thus far. And I think when you look at companies like Bud Light, they're one of the companies that get it. They understand how to take that global brand, localize it, and ensure that persons who understand that global world. So I have to give Bud Light all the credit in the world to make something like this happen.
That's the Bud Light Easy Take of the Week. Each and every week, we are going to bring that. We're going to bring that to you. It's going to be a relatively, like I said, it's an easy take that I feel like all of you can agree with. Of course, there is going to be 1 or 2 people that would disagree. Welcome them to call in or join the conversation. Email us and tell us where we were wrong. That's fine.
Don't email us. Don't. Let me keep it.
Yes,
about,
because we're gonna have to do that.
Right,
anyway.
but hold
we're
on.
gonna talk
Let-
about that in the second hour.
hold on. Let me keep
Why
it.
they
about,
can't email us?
Bro, I get too much emails now, right? So.
They're sending it to
DM,
your
DM.
direct email.
Okay, fair. If you hit up the 10YS email,
We'll
by
give
all
out all
means.
that info.
By all means, we can get to that. Yeah,
You sound like you have trauma from your work
too much emails, bro.
over
Too
the
much
course of
emails.
the week. Don't
DM
email
us, WhatsApp us. That works. Know what I mean?
Okay, I wanted to get to this 15 minutes before we end this first hour. NBA preseason. VJ Edgecombe made his debut, actually playing right now as we speak in Abu Dhabi. Game number 2 against the New York Knicks. DeAndre Ayton made his Laker debut last night. Let's start with VJ, because anytime a lottery pick makes his debut, whether it's Summer League, whether it's the preseason, it's a big deal because that's what people want to see. The preseason, the main guys, Embiid, Paul George, those guys didn't play. Tyrese Maxey was just out there for about 15, 20 minutes just to run around and take some shots. So it was about seeing how VJ was going to mesh into the system. And in terms of his first preseason game, didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but we did see the flashes of what people want to see. That athleticism jumps off the screen every single time.
I've been wrong about this from preseason game 1. I didn't know there was a tip already. Time today has been something different. We don't care how good VJ Edgecombe shoots right now.
No.
We just care to watch him jump and dunk. Bahamians like dunk, US like dunk,
And play
we all like
defense.
that. He can play some defense too. I don't want him to go over excited. It's preseason.
Oh, Ricardo, this is his first year in the league. How he is going to make his mark completely and just be on the defensive end, filling the lane. His first step, honestly, there's nobody that can stay in front of his first step. At least nobody on the Knicks. And they had Bridges on him for a while. Bridges is a all defensive team caliber player. VJ Edgecombe has an amazing first step, and I watched that game and I saw it and I said, yeah, when people had some objection to what he was talking about, the difference between the college game and the NBA game, the lane was wide open. When he gets to the point where he is a number 1 option or even number 2, and he could go off the bounce every single time, I just saw like 27 points per game.
So this is not a segment, but I can say it now. Carter challenge everybody out there that listen.
We can make it.
No, but we can make the segment eventually.
Carter
but
challenge.
I can need everybody out there that listening right now. And now just said, VJ Edgecombe's first step is something that I have not seen in quite some time.
It's crazy.
I don't know, and we've seen this kid come up. I don't know if it's just tenacity. I don't know if it's just his energy and his like want to just jump out of the building.
That man cried on draft night in front of the entire world. What
Bro.
you mean if it's his tenacity?
Bro.
Of course it's his tenacity.
But the energy he takes off with, like he wants to win at every possession.
And we saw it on the national team, and when in Eric Gordon's media day, he gave voice to this when
Yeah.
he said, yeah, when I saw him when we were playing for Team Bahamas, I realized he was going to be something different. Because in those warm-up games for the OQT, they were going against big-name teams, Serbia and Montenegro, and he had a dunk over Nikola Vucevic. This is an NBA veteran. Yeah. Vijay Edgecombe, at that point, didn't even play for Baylor yet. Incoming freshman.
Yeah.
But he was easily one of the best players there in that moment. So right away, that was giving you this vision. That was foreshadowing. He was going to step in and fill this role pretty easily. He looked comfortable.
I'm not gonna compare him to Kobe in any which way. I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just gonna say, and this is where the challenge is.
I ain't gonna lie, it was reminiscent of Kobe.
Right.
Step.
He reminds me, I don't like blue, and then he automatically he say he don't like me, boy. So I gotta guard him. No, he did not. VJ looked like that kind of person. Like he could take anything just to get tick off and go off, and you like, but nobody even said that, bro. That's the kind of energy he reminds me.
That's the Jordan energy, right? That's what the whole Last Dance was about, right? And I took that personally. That's where all of the memes and all of that stuff came from.
But he's like that on every possession. I don't know what triggers. I don't know if it's just something in his mind that he builds up. But every possession, he's like, I want to prove to you that I am that guy and I am just that much better than you. And I have the respect that we've seen it in the preseason game that's why he's playing. I'm pretty sure he already dunked somebody's head off.
He did. I think it was in the first quarter. He did. He absolutely did. I was trying to pay attention to that and do show at the same time. Very difficult. Megan wasn't even helping me. Anyway, so
let me just get to this text record because I don't want to text feel like we missing out on them. This is to the last Bud Light segment that we had the easy take. This country doesn't value its people. Politicians are recognized more than our world-class athletes. We have to do a better job.
I love that take because why are they the rock stars around here? Why are they the superstars? I have yet to stand when one of these. Why you have to stand when they walk into the room? By the way,
protocol.
Anyway,
protocol. Like my mommy always used. My grandma used to say this. This idea of protocol being established is weird. She didn't use the word weird, but it's like you have to question it. Like, why are we so hyped up on?
You ever heard how delightfully they say the word minister?
Boy, Mr. Minister, my minister. It's wild to me. It's wild to me.
I am more likely to stand when Sebastian Walcott walks into it.
I feel like there should be decorum, but I think we are a strange group of people that take decorum to this place where it's reverence.
Yes, that's what it is.
It's weird to me.
Perfect word. It goes beyond protocol and beyond decorum, and it drifts over into reverence. And I just, even in the way I cover the news, because I would watch the news here and I'd be like, well, y'all just is whatever a politician said, like that's it, like that's the whole story. And we don't do any of our newscasts like that because I'm like, dang, the people who making the news, I just don't rock with it like that. That I don't understand, but that's what most of Bahamian
I think we've just
like.
not detached ourselves from the monarchy, like mentally. We've not moved on from the point that our leaders are royalty. We've not detached away from that mindset. I don't know if it's in the blood. I don't know if it's passed down.
It's in the blood.
That's the only way I can say it because these people here have not seen a king or a queen. But we've seen Prince William when he was here the last time, and that was even stranger to me. But our people just have not detached from that mindset yet. And I'm not against there being a royal family. I'm not against it. By all means, celebrate the king, celebrate his kids, do all of that. But we are men at the end of the day, women at the end of the day. We have a society to run, a country to build. We don't have to just spend all day celebrating people and bowing it. Anyway, y'all good to go, bro.
You step down off the soapbox for a second. Let's go to DeAndre Ayton. We talked a lot about VJ. So there was. All right, so Ayton's first preseason game, of course, LeBron didn't play. Luka didn't play. He's on scheduled rest because of the commitments he had to EuroLeague. Ayton, 8 points, 2 block shots. What?
Sorry, we just got another text. This person reminded me of one of my old boss. He just had the 7 P's of marketing. I don't know if this is a he or a she.
It's a he.
Okay, 7 P's of marketing. This is funny as hell. Product, price, promotion, place, people, process, physical evidence. Heavy on our physical evidence. We could get to that in the second half. We just do public relations of promotions. That's it. That's all we do. And I totally agree with us. I'm sorry, I totally agree with that texter.
So Ayton has the eight boards, the 2 blocks, 1 point.
You want to talk with this?
Yes, I do want to talk about this because I also got asked about that in 2 of, and I'm trying to figure out. I don't feel like I have to put a spin on it.
What they ask you?
All right, I could send it to my personal text line now.
There's action if the Lakers can be about it.
Preseason doesn't matter, right? And then the eye emojis. And then he says, LOL, how do you have 1 point, man?
That bothered me especially.
Dave McMenamin talked to DeAndre after the game, and he said, look, it's not about numbers now. I don't need to show anything on the offensive end right now. I wanted to show this team my commitment to defense and anchoring that side of the floor. He could have easily taken many shot attempts. He could have easily made that game about DeAndre Ayton. Bronny took 12 shots. DA could have done that. He wanted to just get boards, block shots.
No.
Yes.
Man, 7 foot, bro.
He is. 7 foot.
I feel like you got to do this. This is one of them things that people that say, "Oh, I had to take the stuff out the car." Yeah, but I ain't stop even putting them in the cupboard. I ain't stop even putting them in the cupboard. You got the energy, bro. How much offensive rebounds he had? 2. Who couldn't just turn around and put one of them off the backboard? Like just one of them.
He's kicking it out to Bronny.
To do what?
To shoot.
Anyway.
To Bronny.
Oh my God. 1 point?
It's more about Rui Hachimura getting his...
But you rebound 2 balls.
Yeah.
Pause. You took it off the rim.
He did.
You did not turn around and say, "Me just put that right back there." I had to put it right back there.
I mean, it was already down like 20, bro.
Yeah, but you could just put it right back there. Show people you know how to just put it right back. I ain't saying you got to jump and slam the ball.
Okay, I was trying.
I'm minus losing the game. I hate the way we lost.
Well,
it.
I needed it, Tom.
It's preseason. But man, put it right back there.
Okay, I get it. He could have shown more offensively. I only taking the 2 shot attempts. I feel like is what's bothersome. Even if you score, stop offensive rebounding. Y'all can't see this. It's an audio medium. Carter is actually grabbing rebounds and showing how Ayton should have done the putback. He did it several times. Anyway, I get it. The 2 shot attempts are more troubling than not making a field goal. Because even if you went 0 for 8. I would have been like, you know what? You were aggressive. You were trying to get to your spots. You were working on some stuff that you probably did in the offseason. I would have been less concerned. I don't quite grasp the rationale behind a preseason game where you are one of 3 starters that are going to be regular starters. So I feel like what they should have made it look like is what it would look like if there's Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Ayton on the floor with Luka and LeBron on the bench. Yeah. They should have been able to operate like that.
This is what preseason is for. You would practice these sorts of sets.
Because I remember me and John saying this like right after the sign-in. We were saying, you know what people don't realize is when Ayton is on the floor and LeBron and Luka aren't there for whatever reason, he can do things to carry this offense along with Austin Reeves. You got to take more than 2 shots, bro.
And that's why I say I'm not objecting to his idea that the game was all about defense. Yes, but at the same time, you could show what it would be like you on the offensive glass. You could have used that. Take 1 or 2 shots and just go back up. That's all I give. Shout out DeAndre Ayton. People say it was a good debut. I don't agree. I wanted more. I just want 1 or 2 little dogs. Something. Use the center, bro. Please. All respect to that man. He's a really good BM basketball player.
I would have liked him to have 8 points and 8 rebounds. I didn't even need you to have like 15. But you know what? I get it. He's coasting along. He's putting in work. I still feel like... Listen, preseason doesn't matter. The Dolphins won 3 preseason games. We're going to get to that in the second half, in the second hour. But preseason does not matter. Sometimes.
It's been stressful a couple of years, boy. Everything that happened in our preseason, it is matter in this... Boy, look here. Anyway, cool.
Do you have a foreboding feeling of dread because he only took 2 shots?
No, because you didn't see Luka, you didn't see Braun.
Maybe he's practicing for the fact that I can get the ball anyway when Luka...
That is true. That's why I say it. When Luka and LeBron come back, you know where you can get them shots that you think you can get? That's it right there. It can be right there.
Just
put that right back. Put that right back. Oh, boy.
All right. That'll do it. We are going to head to the half. When we come back, the Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook Hour, where we get into the NFL Week 6. Is it Week 6? Week 5.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are all service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Always on the go? Missed a show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Your team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
It's a jolly good time of the year as Blue Water and Heineken present It's Blue Water's Christmas Party, Wednesday, December 18th. Come and experience a musical journey from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and now. Enjoy Heineken's Super Bucket Special and giveaways galore. And at the end of the night, get ready for the big grand draw. It's Blue Water's Christmas Party, Wednesday, December 18th.
Heineken reminds you to please drink responsibly.
Open your world.
Welcome to the on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Ronaldo, and as we continue to build this airplane in the sky, this is our first time having a second hour. And do we have a break in the middle?
I think that was the break, and this is why I was telling.
But I mean, in the middle of the second hour.
I mean, we could set it up like that. It depends on how you feel, because sometimes you
just run it.
If you want to, we could run. We could flip it back. We could throw a commercial. It's you QB it. That's how you used to QB the pros?
But it was hectic. I just used to say, hey, get open. I might throw you the ball. I might not.
I got to call.
But at the end of the day, this is about me looking as good as possible.
That's powerful. If you want to hit us up and join the conversation, telephone lines are definitely open. We've not had any calls today. But if you want to, join us on the...
You sound so sad about that.
I ain't gonna lie. Let me explain this to you right now. I want to know people on Saturday.
Right.
Getting their time, but like the text line's active.
Yeah.
Text lines are a little too active for some of the things I was seeing there, but the text line active. I want the phone lines to be active too. Say it with your chest.
We're always gonna have an engaged audience, Cardo. I do believe that this is my thing.
All the saucy talk you have in text messages, put your voice behind it. Put your voice behind it. That's all I said. Pick up the phone. You feel like say it with your chest. That's it. Join 6232 325 4316 325 4259. Toll free from the Family Islands at 242-300-5720. And if you want to join us via the text line, you could do so. Text line is probably at
What is going on the text line? I need to read that.
422-GR96 or 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. No, I just have a problem I don't know if the white listening, but for some strange reason, we have a lot of Bahamians that have this energy via text. And when you say to them, hey, use your words, call the phone, or, jump on Facebook, do a live.
Everyone's not a great orator.
If you're texting like this, you got a lot to say. Practice your words. But I was coming up, it was hooked on phone, and she had to put it together. You can still do that.
Is the text legible, like to where you could actually say it?
I can say it. We can leave that alone because it's just people try to mix everything in politics. We talk in sports.
Full disclosure, I have no access to the text line to know any of that or what's going on. So the way this runs is I quarterback the show and I throw it to Cardo, and Cardo does those kind of things. But now I want these roles to be reversed because there's stuff going on in the text line that I need to be a part of that conversation. Do I not? Or is this the kind of thing that it'll get me?
Yes. So,
okay. All right, don't do it.
I ain't gonna read it. I could just tell you, go down the list. Literally, it's this bad on the text line. You have to label people by their antics. So, you see some text messages and you see it from certain people and you say, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, that's like the dude when we was having the Jonquil conversation.
Right. He is in there, but we can leave that alone. But yeah, this is...
Some people don't have good luck with women. All right, so this is hour number 2, sponsored by Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. This is going to be seasonal, right? So we're going to give you a rundown on how to sports bet. Right. Sometimes people need to know that kind of thing because you may have heard about it. You may have seen that it's something you want to get into, but there are a lot of people out there that don't actually know how to do it. There's a lot of terminology around this stuff that you need to learn. This is the place where you can come. We're going to teach you that kind of thing. And then from there, we're going to get into a segment we like to call Tings is Tings or Down Bad. We're going to talk about the most popular fan bases in the Bahamas. Like I said, this is NFL season. So we're going to talk about the top 5 NFL fan bases in the Bahamas. And then we're going to assess how those franchises are doing at this point in the season. Whether Tings is Tings, which is obviously good, or are they down bad?
And let me just stick the pin right there. It may not be always the top 5 fan bases in the Bahamas. Maybe one team is doing so good that we all pay attention to them. So we swap that team.
We have one spot for bandwagon. Yeah. So we're gonna go the 4 for this week. We're gonna go the 4 staples, or what I feel are the 4 staples. We can go back and forth on that. And then there's always one spot for bandwagon. Because, for instance, there are Chiefs fans now. Y'all was in Chiefs fans before.
Hold on, I get
so there's always a spot for bandwagon. So okay. You were a legit Patriot, right? But there were people that were a Patriot fan, and then they I see green lighting up. All right, go ahead.
Caller, welcome to the Accredited. You're on live.
Good afternoon, good morning, sir. I don't know what time it is. It's afternoon.
It's afternoon. You here?
Yeah. Thanks for allowing me to call in. I just wanted to ask you a question. I was listening to your show before you came into sports, but I couldn't get into to ask you a question in regards to our country. Would you allow me just to ask this question?
Go ahead, shoot your shot. I think the Sparky, shoot your shot. I can stop him, man. We here.
Yeah, okay. We've been talking about the education of the Bahamian people and the different avenues where we could make money, where we could move forward, and this and that and the next. And I've been questioning dentists around here. Listen to this, please. There's a field of the education called dental. Those are the people that make, when you have problems losing a tooth, make a crown, a gold tooth, dentures, partials, this and that and the next. That's called dental technology.
Right, you got to speed it up for me, Sparky.
Yes. Do you realize there's only 2 people that does dental technology in the Bahamas, and the dentists have to send all their work off to foreign, Canada or America, and we wouldn't teach that right here at BTVI? You know what it is for your son or daughter to learn dental technology, open up their own lab, and become a millionaire within a year or 2?
Sparky, how do you feel about the Dolphins' chances?
And we would not teach it in the Bahamas. And I asked the president of BTVI, I asked the Minister of Education, they say they never even heard about dental technology. I said, who you think is making false teeth?
All right, we're trying to give Sparky as much time as we possibly could. He has a lot to say about the dental technology space. By all means,
I wanted to hear his takes on the Dolphins.
He clearly does not have a take on the Dolphins if the Dolphins ain't trying to get their teeth sorted out.
Teeth get knocked out in football all the time. If we can find a way to bridge the gap between dental technology, listen, that can be...
And I think that's the point he's trying to raise. He's okay with your teeth getting knocked out as long as the Bahamian dental technologists are able to repair those teeth.
Yeah, but people don't know.
Okay, well, hopefully he puts together art and we could get to that. But right now, We trying to bet. Let's see if we can get somebody on a parlay right now to help Sparky build our dental technology out.
But now people know. He happened to know. I didn't know. All right, so our how to bet primer. We're gonna start at the very baseline. So if you have heard the term money line before, this is just basically who you think is going to win or who's going to lose. So if money line is completely different from, for instance, against the spread. So the spread is if the sports book, the one that we use, the most reliable, the biggest and the best, everybody wins that. Oh, I think someone disconnected here. Got disconnected. We got a call.
You on with the credit? Go ahead.
Hey, gentlemen, how y'all doing, man? That's Ricardo and Ronaldo.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yeah, well, ask me the question, man. Spark, you don't know nothing about football.
I
oh,
see.
Us? Yeah, we going up we going 2 games. The Panthers, Bryce Young, yeah, he wasn't looking good from last year.
Thank you.
He only win 1 or 2 games last year. Yeah, we win 2 games back to back. And our Ricardo, your dead New England Patriots couldn't even get the ball in the end zone. Man, y'all let me down. I want y'all to beat the so bad. Y'all fumble the ball on the half-yard line, but 3 times back to back. You know, so that's good for y'all, man. I'm feeling sorry for y'all.
We get there one step at a time. I got a quick question for you, though.
Okay.
Do you sports bet?
No, I want y'all guys to teach me that. I want y'all to get lined up on that.
So we jumping into that right now.
I want y'all guys to teach me that.
We right here right now. We jumping into it. Now I can give you all the breakdowns. If you have any questions, man, feel free to call.
Okay, I got listen. And then when I see Purdy, and then I want Purdy set me up on that too, man. Like when I buy him again, I can use I want him set me up on that.
I got
you.
I
hear you all talking. I want to get into that parlay stuff.
All right. So when I was a kid, I feel like I had a pretty good football knowledge at an early age. So when my dad would go to bars, and all the bars would have their
just making sure you wasn't getting snitch on Pops now. He going to the bar.
Come on, dog. Okay. so when he would go to bars, he would bring home the sheet for the week, and he would be like, "Make these picks. I'm gonna hand these in."
Yeah.
So he was like, my son knows way too much about this stuff, probably more than he should know. He probably should be studying, but he has a ridiculous knowledge about this stuff. He's going to decide this, and then come to think of it, I ain't never seen no one. He probably won a lot off me.
I was about to say I will make sure you ain't putting Pops in a bad position.
Anyway, I still continue to tax him to this day. That's fine. So it all balances out. And
but see, this is
his
the
grandson taxes him.
This is the tremendous opportunity with Everybody Wins Live, and you talked about it. You did it when you were young for your dad. It's all perfectly legal now, and we're with a trusted source.
Yeah, that was different.
EWL is Flowers, and if you would hear all of the stuff around, the Flowers family is now moved into this space. EWL, you have the Everybody Wins Live. We have the sportsbook up and running. It's a tremendous opportunity to experience something big, new, and like something never before. So, of course, you could hit all your favorite parlays. You could go through the money line. And if you don't feel like doing the sports bet, we have everything going on across casino and lottery as well. Traditional number slots. So if you want to come in, you could buy your numbers. If you want to come in, you could, hit some times on the casino games. All that is available at EWL.
All right, so let's go back to our glossary of terms. We started with money line before the call. This is the most basic and simplest one. Money line is just who do you think is going to win the game? So the caller mentioned Dolphins, Panthers. You could say I'm taking Dolphins on the money line. That just means straight up, I think they're going to beat the other team. Yeah. The spread is a bit different. So if Everybody Wins Live says, hey, we think we're going to set this line at 6.5. So this means if I think the Dolphins are going to win by at least a touchdown, if I think they're going to win by 7, then I would take the spread. If you think the Panthers are going to make it a closer game, if you think the Panthers are going to, you can still think they're going to lose, but it's going to be close, then you would bet on the other side. You would bet for them to cover the spread. Yeah. So that's where it differs from money line. So spread is involved directly with points. Money line is just straight up and down. Or when you can bet on players specifically. Now, Tyreek Hill is not playing, obviously, because he's done for the season. Hopefully not done forever. But you may say, hey, because Tyreek Hill is out, maybe Tua has to go to Jalen Waddle a lot more. So I can predict that Jalen Waddle is going to have 120 receiving yards. You can make that bet specifically on Jalen Waddle doing that. So those are prop bets where you can bet on any statistical thing that a player can achieve by themselves, whether it's Tua throwing for 225 yards, whether he goes over that or under that, whether it's Bryce Young, whether he's going to throw an interception or not. So this is where knowledge of the game and trying to predict what's going to happen can line your pockets betting with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook.
Yeah, so if you want to join the Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, this is now the perfect time to do it. You could go into any of their 15 locations across New Providence, or you could hit us up on some select family islands. We're now down in Long Island if you want to join. Hit up Everybody Wins Live down there in Long Island.
That's your people.
That's why I had to throw it there. First place I had to check on and make sure the street was right down there. Homecoming, well, not homecoming, regatta coming up in a couple of weeks is perfect time.
I've never been to one of those a day in my life. I have never been to one of those. I probably the only Bahamian that's never done that. I've never been to it. Anyway, so let's get into the word that a lot of people talk about when we talk about sports betting nowadays, parlay.
Yeah.
This is one of the most stressful things I think a person can undertake. It can be really great. It can be really great. You got to be really good at what you do. You've got to be able to take some hits and then keep on going.
Right.
So a parlay can go anywhere from 2 to about 15 or 16. The trick in that is every single one of your bets has to hit. I don't care if you make a 10-leg parlay, if you get 9 things right. Let's say you bet on 10 games, money line, who's going to win or lose. You can get 9 of them right. If one of those is wrong, then you're done. So that is the difficulty in it. And of course, you can do that with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. Your parlay you can just go straight with all of the games. You can go just money line. You can go against the spread, or you can mix in the winners and losers with some of the prop bets that I mentioned earlier. So let's say you wanted to do what's called a parlay within the same game, right? And you wanted to bet the Dolphins to win the game. You wanted to bet Bryce Young to throw an interception, Tua to throw for 200 yards, and Jalen Waddle to have 75 yards receiving. So that's an example of a 5-leg parlay in there, and you would need each one of those to happen for you to win. Now, the thing is with a parlay of gold, because you hear all of those things that need to check out, but the payout is so much bigger.
So let me give you a prime example. On Thursday Night Football, I put together a 6-leg parlay of my own.
So did I.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me let the persons know how my heart was broken. I'll talk about every single one of those legs having to hit.
Yep.
My parlay on Thursday night was 80-yard receiving night game by Puka Nacua.
Got it.
Total yards on longest reception by a player. This player was Devontae Adams, 21 and a half. 21 and a half, meaning he has to catch a ball of at least 22 yards for that to qualify. I needed 30-plus passing attempts by Matthew Stafford. I needed an anytime touchdown score by Karen Williams. I needed an anytime touchdown score by Christian McCaffrey. And I needed an anytime touchdown score by Devontae Adams. Of that 6-leg parlay, 5 of my 6 legs hit. This was a $5 bet.
Heartbreaking.
Paying on $100. And let me just walk you through which of those actually hit.
Heartbreaking.
80 yards by Puka Nacua. He got that. Longest reception by Devontae Adams. I needed 21.5. He got me a 23-yard catch. I needed 30-plus passing attempts by Matthew Stafford. He gave me just about 26. Sorry, he gave me just about 36. I needed an anytime touchdown score by Karen Williams. I got that. I needed an anytime touchdown score by Christian McCaffrey. I got that. Devontae Adams had the ability to catch a touchdown at least 4 times in that game. The last drive, they decided, instead of throwing it to your 6'3" wide receiver that is towering over the cornerback, they decided, now we're going to run with Karen Williams again. Three times in a touchdown. I lost my parlay. My $5 bet went down the drain. But with Everybody Wins Live, we're working it out right now. We're trying to get you some bet back money. So hopefully we can get that off the par. I know everybody across the Bahamas grip their chest right now. So we're hoping to debut that in a couple of weeks for moments just like this. So when you just one leg of your parlay off, you don't lose everything.
Listen to me. I had a thought that I was going to get to, but when Cardo said that just now, I was visibly taken aback.
Yes.
And I'm already rocking with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, obviously. But if I wasn't before and I heard that will absolutely change the game.
Yeah.
That will absolutely change the game. So I'll give you 2 examples, right? I had a 5-legger of that game that flopped because Kyron Williams, like you mentioned, on that final drive had a 20-yard run. I took him on the under, 61 and a half. He had a 20-yard run on that last drive. So that killed it for me. But this is why I say you got to have perseverance when it comes to this. So we gave you 2 examples of how it may not work out. Right. Let me give you an example of a success story, right? And this was last night. And if Megan, if you're listening, turn it down because, and gals know you win money sometimes. That's terrible. But, okay, so I had a 7-leg parlay last night. San Jose State to win. They did. The Suns to beat the Lakers. They did.
Now we understand where this energy coming from.
Right. So, Ayton didn't need to score 20 points. All right. And then the other parts of it, the last 4 legs were all in game 1 of the WNBA Finals. So I had the Aces on the money line, DeWanna Bonner to get more than 4 rebounds, more than 10 points, and Chelsea Gray to hit at least 1 3. So that's 7 legs.
You got Chelsea Gray to hit more than 1 3?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So that's 7 legs, and that hit. So, see, it's not always.
Because Han Copper gone off last night like they was scared for tit for tat.
I was thinking put Kalia Copper in that because I know how
high energy.
Sometimes.
Oh, boy. We got to get into WNBA, but no.
So this is an example of what you can do, and it adds another element to the sports fan experience.
Yeah.
It goes from just watching to, no, you literally have stakes in the game.
No, and this is why I always just tell people that get into
Bet
sports betting
responsibly.
Bet responsibly, but once you get into it, everybody out there like the armchair quarterback.
Everyone.
This is the ability. Next to fantasy football, this is the next best thing for you to put that knowledge to the test. You feel like you know the players. You feel like you know the schemes. You feel like you know what you're talking about. This is the opportunity to put it to the test.
So if you know so much, why don't make some money off of it?
No, I like to dare people. Put your money where your mouth is.
If you know so much, let's do it.
You could start as little small as 10 cents. Put your money where your mouth is. Step up. And this is the challenge that Everybody Wins Live is all about.
Oh, it's a second quarter challenge.
This is the quarter challenge we should have started with.
Okay.
But this is what Everybody Wins Live is all about. We're trying to build not only the best sports book. We want to build a sports book that reflects firmly not only what they're getting into, but the possibilities. And I like to say the possibilities are endless. So when you consider this as quote-unquote a challenge, you're not only going to bet responsibly, we're going to try to give you all the ins and outs of how to bet well. So we want you to understand not only the difference between a money line, a straight bet, a parlay, whether it's 1 leg, 2 legs, 3 legs, 5 legs. You can get up to 12, but Everybody Wins Live. But the thought process behind this is the experience. We're all about the customer experience. We want people to come out, not only enjoy our sports book, enjoy our casino experience, enjoy our lottery experience. This is what Everybody Wins Live is all about. So now I mentioned it earlier. We're now in a partnership with Everybody Wins Live. The idea here is you're going to see us over there. You're going to see them over here. It's going to be a tandem relationship. Now it's going to be a part of the Guru Challenge over at Everybody Wins Live, telling you some of the games that you could look at, some of the games that you could bet on. He talked about some college football picks last night. Yeah. Man betting San Jose State. More power to him. That's ridiculous.
That was big time.
Definitely. So those are the kind of things that you're going to see between this partnership, letting persons know how to experience the game at another level.
Yeah, we're gonna help you all make some money. That's what this is all about. We're gonna make some money, have some fun.
Not only that, Everybody Wins Live wants to take it up another notch. It's not just about helping you win money. They want you to experience the joys of sport. They cannot send you to not just 1 or 2 games. They're not going to do it like the other guys and just send you to the Dolphins or right to Miami or whatever. We're trying to get you to boxing matches. We're trying to get you to key NBA games. VJ's playing. We have Buddy playing.
NBA opening night is right around the
corner. All
corner.
of these things we're working on. So just stay tuned. If you're not a member of the Everybody Wins Live family yet, this is the perfect time to sign up.
What you waiting on?
Exactly. 15 locations across New Providence. Hit the one nearest to you. Sign up right now. Get your card. Get ready to go. It's betting season.
I want a slow clap for how thoughtful and provoking and how emotional that entire soliloquy was. That was amazing.
I dislike you. Please let the people know the 5-leg parlay that they need to hit this week.
Do we even have to do a live read anymore? Because that was everything. Y'all didn't feel that? Y'all had to feel that. Anyway, so we want to go to our second segment, which, like we mentioned, all of this is going to help inform you when you log on to the Everybody Wins Sportsbook platform and you decide what bet you're going to make. But we also want to have a conversation around this stuff, like Carter was saying. So this is our segment called Tings Are Down Bad. We're going to highlight these top Bahamian fan bases and just check in to see how everyone is doing. We kind of got a preview of it with our last caller. Fan base number 1, the Miami Dolphins. Tings are down bad.
Down bad. Last week game was Tings, but that's still
No, Tings was never Tings.
Hold on,
it's been horrible.
They were so down bad that even when Tings was Tings last week, they going right back to down bad. Tyreek Hill, he was happy, but you see how that ended up. Down bad.
That man has so much children. He has to play forever. Like I that's the first thing I thought about when I saw his leg twist in the wrong direction. I said, "What about the children?"
He said the exact same thing because he immediately out of Out of the surgery, he was in the bed posting the thing. Who go and sponsor me now?
He just had a divorce, which the settlement payments for that are astronomical. Tyreek Hill has to play football for the next 27 years.
And what's crazy about it, if you look at the structure of his contract, a lot of that money was up front for a reason. Now, the back half of the season is going to be treacherous for him.
But because of that, I mean, the offense looks completely different when Tyreek Hill is not in there. So obviously, yeah, for me, down bad. What I would like to see is, listen, I don't want to recklessly speculate, but I will. The way Tua has been given some of these press conferences, I feel like the CT, he's saying some things that, don't really register. I don't know. It's been kind of off, been kind of weird in some places. But Jalen Waddle has to be a number one. He gets paid by Alabama. Just so happened that they got a receiver better than him, and he turned to a number two. Well, now this is your shot because the offense has to be predicated around him, right? Malik Washington is coming from out of nowhere. This has to be Jalen Waddle's offense.
And you talked about the CT might be ran its ugly hair. That man make Darren Waller a star, and you want me to feel safe?
First of all,
you want me to feel safe?
Let me tell you something about Darren Waller. I was listening to the Le Batard show. They had Darren Waller on, and Dan asked him, how did you feel about that game? You were out of football for a year and a half, 2 years. Darren Waller's first response was, man, I felt like I was on drugs. I am not making this up. I put that on everything. And I was like, you had a drug problem. Why would you say that?
Let me say something to you, and I want this to be absolutely clear. I support the idea of Las Vegas getting as many sports teams as they possibly can.
Yeah.
But if there was ever a reason you needed to pull up a billboard in Las Vegas and say athletes should not be here, Darren Waller is the prime example.
I thought you would say Henry Ruggs.
Well, no, that It's so-so. We got to add something else in there. Because it ain't really impressive what they did against Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. I did not expect that. It ended up in a tie, but for them to get that tie out of all of the energy that Green Bay came up with, I was really impressed.
Let me tell you why I say down bad. Because when you've gotten to the point where a tie is seen as a win, that means your expectations are in the basement.
But that's only because they was playing Green Bay, though.
But Green Bay just came off a loss to the Browns.
Right.
The Dallas Cowboys defense is in the basement. So to me, it doesn't matter how optimistic you are about that offense, and Dak has been playing amazing. He is going to win me money in fantasy football because how great he's playing. CeeDee Lamb is going to come back. They're going to be fine. The two troubling things about it's the defense and the fact that because of CeeDee Lamb's injury, George Pickens is going to emerge as a number one, just like I talked about with Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
And he is an absolute head case. And you're going to have to pay him next year if he puts up number one numbers. So, I don't know. I think the Cowboys right now are still down bad until defense can right the ship.
I doubt it's possible for them to right the ship. So if you want to use that as the thing that we hang this conversation on, I would have to move over to down bad.
Let's go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I feel like in terms of fan bases in the Bahamas, the Steelers got to be like number 3, right?
I don't know more. No.
You don't think so?
No,
I think the Steelers have a huge fan base.
Well, I know one Steeler fan, and he's been a Steeler fan since we was children. I know nobody else.
They've been consistently good, though.
Well, find me one group of 2 Steelers.
They have legitimately Bahamian Steelers groups.
Boy, if you was a Steeler fan right now, call me and tell me the last time you won the Super Bowl.
Ben Roethlisberger.
I want them to tell me. Not you. You gave it away. I wanted them to tell me. We have no Pittsburgh Steelers fans.
Cardo, I feel like you're off base with this take, and you got to top in with the people. The Steelers are big. What do you mean? Anyway.
Tell me where y'all is. I'll pass by.
Anyway, Pittsburgh Steelers. Tings are down bad.
Things is things, boy. Things is things.
Because they got Aaron Rodgers.
That man said he showed up to Dublin, had a pint of Guinness, and he was good to go.
Let me tell you what I think happened. And again, I'm going to recklessly speculate. I'm going to do that a lot. I think first of all, Aaron Rodgers, it's understood that they're just going to let him do drugs, right?
It's quite clear.
They're going to just let him do drugs.
Let's clarify that. We're not saying that Aaron Rodgers is on some way doing drugs during the NFL season.
No, and that's what I was going to get to.
But he didn't too happy.
He decided that he's just going to do the ayahuasca off season.
Okay.
So he's going to go to Costa Rica. If y'all can watch the documentary on Netflix. He goes to Costa Rica.
Don't watch that documentary on Netflix because y'all gonna be in Costa Rica while it too. He looks so peaceful, boy. He looked peaceful. Like it make me realize like maybe we need to talk about this ayahuasca thing. We need to do something. Because that way he happy. He looked relieved. Whatever demons you was finding at the bottom, he found a way to communicate with them responsibly.
Some of us do things. San Francisco 49ers. Tings is Tings beating the Rams Thursday night. You gotta say Tings is Tings. Their quarterback was hurt. Their top receiver was hurt. And yet still, they come away with that win against the Rams. A Rams team that people thought would probably challenge for the NFC crown after the way they played the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Eagles had to beat them off a blocked field goal.
And they played the Colts well.
Played all of these teams well. Matthew Stafford has that offense looking really good. Has Devontae Adams to go along with Puka.
Just not when you need him to.
But they don't win that game against a depleted 49ers team. And a big part of that is Mac Jones.
Now, see, this is what I want to get into. For years as a New England Patriots fan.
Yeah.
Y'all
It had to
told
hurt
me
you.
McCorkle Jones was not the guy.
Boy.
That's what y'all tell me. Y'all look me in my eyes.
You and Don Orlovsky were on the Mac Jones hill with this because they replayed NFL live clip from a few years ago. And he actually said the same thing you said. He said, if you put... This was when Brock Purdy got the contract. And he said, if you put Mac Jones...
I told y'all
in
that he was
offense-
better than... Bro, y'all, this bugging me, but
Brock Purdy got paid, so now what do you do? And we
Mac Jones is a tremendous quarterback. Like, don't get me wrong.
Tremendous is
Hold on,
tremendous.
don't get
is-
me. This is why I was trying to say it. Don't get me wrong. Drake May is my quarterback now.
He definitely
But I don't feel like Mac Jones was ever the problem in New England.
No.
We never had an offensive line. He had nobody to throw it to. The one wide receiver he had is the same wide receiver he balled out with on Thursday. That is the Mac Jones that I've known, that I've fallen in love with. That's my guy. Hold on, no, you know how I feel. Before Drake May had two quarterbacks. Daniel Jones, Mac Jones. Those were my guys.
Can't help but notice how all of those quarterbacks look. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, this has the possibility of creating a wedge issue here in San Francisco.
Ain't no wedge, boy. That's New England West, boy.
There absolutely is.
Who?
Because
Where?
Brock Purdy now, after that game, Brock Purdy is in a position where he perhaps has to come back earlier than he wanted to.
You better.
So whether he's 100% or not, Tom Brady said very famously, you do not let the backup get reps because you never know what's going to happen.
We ain't getting reps no more, baby. We here. Be here.
It's Brock Purdy's job.
It's Mac Jones' job right now.
Yeah, but they paid Brock Purdy.
I don't care what you did.
But this is how business works, Cardo.
The Washington Commanders drafted two quarterbacks.
Yes.
We saw what happened. Seattle Seahawks signed two quarterbacks and drafted a third.
Let me stop you there. Go back to the Washington. They drafted two quarterbacks. They were on the same pay scale.
Yeah. Well, no,
that is different.
Kirk Cousins is a little bit higher.
A little bit
higher.
The gulf between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy.
What did Matt Flynn get over in Seattle? Buku dollars.
Again, that is not the gulf between Brock Purdy and Mac Jones. They are mandated for Brock Purdy.
John Lynch.
Brock Purdy just went to a Super Bowl.
I know what you're doing right now. I know if you're listening, if you're checking in with us, happy you're here. You got your quarterback of the future.
You think John Lynch
His name is McCorkle Jones. You have your quarterback of the future.
Is that really his name?
That's his name.
You cannot have this type of admiration for a man named McCorkle.
That's my guy.
I'm not going to let you do that.
That's my guy.
I care about
He was the last great quarterback that Bill Belichick had a hand in. That's my guy.
Okay, great.
That's my guy.
Great.
McCorkle Jones.
Stop calling him.
Come back player of the year.
What is he coming back from?
Whatever he was going through. McCorkle
Being
Jones.
benched?
That's a lot.
Just call him Mac.
That's a lot.
Can you just call him Mac?
Aaron Rodgers was benched and he had to go to Costa Rica to find himself. Mac Jones was benched.
I got news for you. Aaron Rodgers was going to do that no matter what. You think that was about football? Boy, that was about feeling good. That ain't had nothing to do with football.
Mark was benched and all he said, I'm going to come back better. Playing with a bad knee. People throwing him down and running all over him. He stood up tall and got it done. Shout out my boy Mark Jones. Come back later.
You just described football. Anyway. I need to go back to the Aaron Rodgers thing for a moment because, you know, like how you and John always say I only root for quarterbacks that look a certain way.
Yeah.
They want a quarterback just openly be saying, hey, I do drugs recreationally. Like, that would never happen, right? It can only happen with Aaron Rodgers or someone that looks like Aaron Rodgers. Our quarterbacks can't do that. Imagine Lamar Jackson saying, hey, I just like to do this.
You ready for something?
I don't think so.
I feel like this is no shot. Dude was wilding out. He was doing too much.
Yes.
What Aaron Rodgers is doing right now, you went to Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
If Deshaun Watson just dreamed about this.
Why did you use him?
I had to show you.
There's so many black quarterbacks.
Yeah. But none of them have been in trouble the way Deshaun Watson has.
Can we stay away from his sexual assault allegations?
Uh,
All right, go ahead. I'll follow you down this.
But
did he just get 50 months?
if it went the way it's going with Aaron Rodgers, he would probably be erased from football. Erased. I'm talking about he would have never existed. Those would have been like the Texans drafted a quarterback, would never see the deal.
I just love the fact that Aaron Rodgers be like, hey, I can do this. I can tell y'all I don't like y'all. And y'all can still keep paying me to do this
The
job
funniest
anyway.
thing was his stuff on the New York Jets, the meeting. He's like, yeah, across the country. Aaron Glenn was talking for a bit, ran out of the office, came back in.
He refused to tell people he was even signing with the Steelers. It was like when a dude is messing with a girl and he don't really want nobody to know and he just plays it off. And he was like, yeah.
Aaron said he got a call. Yeah. He agreed to a contract. He couldn't remember what team. Lo and behold, you knew it was the Steelers.
Oh, you know what? I got to give him a bly. He might have been on ayahuasca and honestly did not know what team it was.
No, that's how I knew automatically he was doing drugs all off season. Because he was like, yeah, I remember having a conversation. You signed a football deal and you don't know who you signed it with. He was on drugs the entire offseason.
But then he threw 4 touchdowns in the first game of the
Can't
season.
get mad
And none
at
of it mattered anymore. So let's go to week 5. We're going to find... Well, we don't have to limit how many games you do. We're just going to run this straight through until the end of the hour. I want to start, though... This game is intriguing to me, and it may be a boring game to some, but this game is pretty intriguing to me just because I'm interested in the quarterback situation of the Cleveland Browns and of the Minnesota Vikings, by the way. We got Browns, Vikings, and again, guys, early start. It caught some people by surprise last week. So in terms of fantasy football, in terms of sports betting, remember, this is a 9:30 start. So if you same game parlay in here to, kind of bank it up for later when you make your bigger bets. So start with this 9:30 game, Browns, Vikings.
Let me say it for the record right now. If you got an early morning church service, I know some of us got to check it.
We are missing sports betting.
Hold on. I got to talk to my people. I know they out there.
Go ahead.
I know they out there. You might want to grab your cup of coffee a little ways around 6:30. Go through your notes. As a man, I got to sit down with my paper.
Analog, you write it down?
Yeah, I got to go through it.
You are 65 years old.
I got to run my numbers. And when I run my numbers, I got to see if this
Do you have a dream book?
Yeah, the dream book is one of them more black and white Milo Butler books, if you know what I mean.
My dream book used to be the Dolphins winning a Super Bowl. I'm off that narcotic. But it is only about the Ravens now.
But as now I mentioned, it's a 9:30 start, so get up early, get through your numbers, make sure you know what you're doing from a fantasy standpoint, from a betting standpoint. Get those odds in early. If you got to put something on your account, do so early, do so responsibly, and enjoy football. 9:30 start. I repeat, 9:30 start.
The Browns, low-key or not so low-key, have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
The best. In my opinion, the best.
That front seven is definitely the best.
I don't know if it's much of a front seven. I know it's a front one and plenty people behind it.
So it's like, hold on. So it's like us leading the charge against everybody.
I had this argument this week. When Myles Garrett so good, I know he was good at football.
Always, though.
When he became this,
always.
That man walking through people like how you move objects around you.
You know what it was? So it was like I think there was a group of pass rushers and he was kind of lumped into a group, right? And as everybody kind of regressed a bit, like I would say it was him, the Watts, the Boses. JJ was a bit older, had his incredible runs, but regresses out of the league. TJ just got paid big time, but Myles has surpassed him.
Yeah.
The Boses are injured, one's changing teams, like
stress.
But Myles Garrett has just consistently been like Tim Duncan the whole time. Like, I'm just going to remain this really good
yes.
and just, I'm going to stay this good while everyone else has ebbs and flows.
So the question was, because of course we know this offseason he had an opportunity to change teams if he wanted to. He opted to remain with the Browns. I don't know.
Cleveland is wild.
Right. And I don't know if he said, well, no matter where I go, the defense is going to be good, but I don't know if they're going to be this good. I
wanted to see him leave because you know what? You see how you are a man that is very knowledgeable about the NFL, and you said, when did Myles Garrett do this? I wanted him to go to a team that was huge in the spotlight, and I wanted him to have this national introduction to the entire fan base.
My guy, if he went to another team that was in charge, not to say the Browns are something to blow a whistle at. The Browns are still playing good football.
I will blow a whistle at the Browns.
But I just think if they put Shador in there, they might could make a run.
They will not. No matter who's the quarterback.
Hold on. Let me just say this. I watched that game last week with Myles Garrett, and I imagine him on, I don't know, the 49ers. I imagine him on the Cowboys. if he was in one of those spots, the conversation we have around defensive players with an MVP, I think it would have been an easy cakewalk.
It would. I thought Myles Garrett moving had the opportunity to be kind of like, and I'm going to go back a few years, when Reggie White left the Eagles and went to the Packers, and the Packers automatically became these Super Bowl contenders and ended up winning, and Reggie White got a Super Bowl. I thought that's what it was going to be like.
Shout out to one of my friends. I told him this week, what y'all think Micah Parsons is? Micah Parsons is all you think he is.
And I put him in that group.
Myles Garrett is just that much better.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
So I am super impressed. I think he's clearly head and shoulder the best defensive player in there. Probably right now the best football player out there.
So I think the most intriguing thing, and you alluded to it, the most intriguing thing about this game is going to be, does Dylan Gabriel make it through the game, whether he plays great or if it's because he gets knocked out?
You probably would never ever again in your life see an entire fan base reject their quarterback the way you're going to see this weekend.
The Shedeur Sanders interview was weird, though, right? When
the team is weird.
But I mean specifically when he did that whole pantomime answers thing where he was speaking and he didn't want to say, no words were coming out of his mouth.
Nah.
That was the most odd interview I've ever seen. I've seen some odd interviews.
You talked about it earlier with Jazz, and we're going to come full circle with this right now. Jazz turned around. He played with the stuff in his bag not to give them that moment.
Shedeur...
What else could he have done?
I got it. Anyway, who you got in this? I'm taking Vikings on.
I ain't taking nobody in this game. I telling you, I got one mission here to see how much the Brown fans hate Dylan Gabriel.
But if people wanted to bet on this game, we are here. We are mandated to help them. This is what our benevolent sponsors.
Vikings take the points.
Thank you.
Vikings to take the points.
They sent us here to make people better bettors.
Yeah,
better bettors. I like that. Jets Cowboys. Jets coming off a heartbreaking loss to those fantastic black uniformed Miami Dolphins. Apparently, I don't know.
Shout out to the Jets. They did the Denzel Washington thing. They was leaving with something. They left y'all without Tyreek. They left with something.
I kind of like Justin Fields. There was a.
Why wouldn't you like him?
I wanted him to be the Dolphins quarterback when I still used to do that thing. Before he went to the Steelers, when he was available, I was like, the Bears thing didn't work out, but I want to see what Justin Fields looks like.
The most strangest non-trade trade that we've ever seen in football history. Aaron Rodgers for.
It did work out.
It worked out. I mean, the Jets ain't winning, but it worked out. They wasn't going to win regardless, but...
You know what was an amazing stat? And I think this has some trap game vibes in this, right? Because the Cowboys are probably feeling good after a tie that feels like a win to them. The Jets feel like absolute trash because, and this is amazing, Aaron Glenn, worst start to a Jets coaching career there's ever been.
I saw that start night. I thought that was important. It made me feel, I was like, I'm pretty sure I see worse starts.
Think about how bad the Jets have been for our entire lives.
What was Salah's starting record?
It felt like 0-24.
That shocked me. That took me completely off guard because I was like, this can't be the worst start. I had to go check the numbers.
I think the Jets win this game. I think the Jets upset the Cowboys because that defense is just so bad. The Ravens, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, I think, have the three worst defenses in the league. And I don't know how you can have faith in any team, really, when one side of the ball is just an abject failure. Even in the games that the Cowboys won, it took a miraculous overtime comeback from Dak against the Giants.
The reason I won't take the Jets in this game, while I don't have faith in the Cowboys defensive way that you mentioned, my fears is just that for some strange reason in clutch moments, there's a breakdown in the Jets that I don't understand. They're a terrific team. I don't understand how they keep losing.
They had the Bucks, and look how that one fell apart. But I will say, in terms of prop bets, if you were thinking of who to take individually for those props, I always take Dak on the overs with throwing because the Cowboys are not a very run-oriented team. So in that regard, you may want to also look at George Pickens, wherever the line is going to be. Check that tomorrow morning. I would take George Pickens. I'm guessing about 70, 80 yards is a safe place to be. I'm pretty sure he's going to get that. And also on the other side of the ball, every leading receiver absolutely torches this Cowboys secondary. You saw what Malik Neighbors did. You saw what everyone from the Packers did. So I believe Garrett Wilson is going to have that kind of game.
And Garrett Wilson has been a start stuffer the entire year. Pause. He's been that guy. He's been that guy.
All right. This is another one. I'm just intrigued by all of the bad games this week, right? Saints, Giants.
There's never a bad football game. Shout out to Roger Goodell. He made that a thing.
Saints, Giants. Who would have thought that Spencer Rattler versus Jackson Dart would captivate two communities? Jackson Dart, by the way, the Giants won that game. That man did not play well. I don't care how much dances he did in the end zone.
He doesn't have to play well. Like, this is a serious thing with New York.
I see what they doing with him and Cam Scatterback.
There we go.
I see what they doing.
There we go.
Y'all ain't slick. I see what y'all doing.
It's like if you throw a big
neighbors out.
If you throw a big frat party, it would look like the New York Giants. So just go and enjoy your game day. You don't have to take nothing on. Saints, but it's just a big party.
Oh, I don't know. Look at how close the Saints played the Bills.
Alvin Kamara is having.
Do you not glean anything from that?
Yes, Alvin Kamara. He's having a really. I thought he was done. I think
you know what it is sometimes though. I think when you know that you're playing for nothing, it's football is a difficult game for you to take all that battering and bruising for absolutely nothing. Man. That's tough. But I'm taking the Saints to win this one. I know in the NFL sometimes it's difficult. Matchups matter, so it's difficult to take 1 week into the next. But I don't know. I feel like it was an impressive loss against Buffalo.
Yeah. I have to give the Saints.
And I think
credit.
this is the week Jackson Dart falls apart.
I thought that was last week too.
Yeah, all right.
But then to make a pick, I do think the Giants get it done. I don't think the Saints are really playing to win. They're playing to look good.
What are they doing?
They're playing to look good. I don't think. Anyway, I think Archie has a grandson that should be in a Saints jersey. Them and the Cowboys fight neck and neck for that. And that's how I look at it.
This is the long play for Arch.
Yes. Yeah, you ain't got no trust in Spencer Rattler. I can tell you that.
And I was rooting for him because I don't know if you watched it. Because I was attached to him since I saw there was a Netflix documentary where they followed some of the best high school quarterbacks in America out of that to make it to the NFL, and it's still starting.
I saw a mini documentary on Snoop Dogg having a bunch of kids inside the league.
I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, that make no difference to me, so I know you're rooting for Spencer Rattler.
You're a heartless person, that's why. Let's go to the Indianapolis Colts and the Las Vegas Raiders. Did you know that the Colts have a big fan base in the Bahamas?
Apparently so.
I wouldn't say big, but they are residual Colts fans from the Peyton Manning era. Pre-Peyton Manning, I don't think they exist.
No, I can tell you, my brother, he's a Colt fan. He's been a Colt fan my entire life. In fact,
from Jeff George?
No. Okay. Mark is not that old. I forget his age right off the top of my head. But the issue there is he is sort of the reason why I love Tom Brady so much.
Because he loved Peyton Manning.
Right. And it became that thing where they would beat us almost every year. Every time we played them in the season, and I would hear the most of it. And then miraculously would always beat up in either the divisional round or the conference championship.
Because Peyton Manning was the greatest regular season. Actually, between him and Lamar now,
yeah.
the greatest regular season quarterbacks there's ever been.
But boy, it would bring joy. And you would always hear, like, when we beat them, you would always see these random people that claim to be Peyton Manning fanatics. And I was like, but is more y'all?
And now they have... Apparently, there's this resurgence in the Bahamian cult community because of Daniel Indiana Jones.
I need you to understand that. So when they say, I wish Mark could have called in right now. When they signed Daniel Jones, I tell him, y'all got it.
You have such a strange affinity for these average quarterbacks.
That's my guy.
I don't understand.
That's my guy. I told y'all he was great on New York.
And he's not been great any of those times.
He has always been great. Y'all just have never given him the respect that he rightfully deserved. Now he's one of the best quarterbacks. He's up there at MVP voting. Daniel Jones, hey, let me tell you something. If you want to take it over this week,
do not do this.
If you want to take it over this week,
remember at the beginning of the show,
take Daniel Jones over 200 yards. If you want to take it over this weekend,
remember at the beginning of the show when Brad Hanna said the views that are expressed by these crazy nonsensical people and their ramblings are not the views that you should probably be listening to or whatever, blah blah blah.
Except when it comes to Daniel Jones and McCorkle Jones, always take the over 200. Those are my guys.
So impressed by these average quarterbacks. Anyway, let's move on to Panthers Dolphins. Is this a get right game? I'm not certain that this is a get right game for the Dolphins. It might be a get right game for the Panthers.
Yeah.
Because becoming one of the most complex teams in the league, you beat the Falcons 30-0, and then the next week you drop an absolute egg. I do not know what to expect from them this week.
I can tell you.
But I do know that the Dolphins, like I mentioned, one of the three teams that have some of the worst defenses in the NFL. So I feel like anyone can move the ball on them. Anyone can run on them.
You call it a get-right game for the Dolphins. And I think you're right there. The issue with the Panthers has always been this. They go as far as... I keep forgetting he was a number 1 overall pick.
Number 1 overall pick. But you know what it is? Johnny Manziel kind of changed the math on. No, Russell Wilson changed the math on what you can do with a quarterback that appears to be on the smaller side. Yeah. Now, Russell Wilson's big. He's not a slight build quarterback, but he's on the shorter side, like 5'10", 5'11".
But the thing with Bryce Young,
Super Bowl.
the thing with Bryce Young though is,
hold on. Then Johnny Manziel came along, number 1 overall pick, didn't pan out, but people thought you could take the chance on the shorter quarterback. Baker Mayfield, the third one. Baker Mayfield, it looked like he was headed in that Johnny Manziel direction until he had this resurgence where he is now a legitimate MVP candidate, not a fake one like Daniel Jones.
Anyway,
but all of that opened the door for Bryce Young to be picked number 1.
Right, but when you look at Bryce Young, he has the arm talent. He has the strength. He has the capability to get the ball down the field. It's just always these moments. We talked about it with the Saints. They just find a way to... the Saints and the Jets. They find a way to mess up in big moments. That has been Bryce Young this entire season. When we played them last week, it wasn't like we did anything spectacular. We had the one punt return, and then that flipped the momentum in the game. But Bryce Young just decided at that moment, ain't nothing to play for. He have McMillan out there. I'm going to say his first name, but I could get in trouble. He have McMillan out there, and you see him.
When's Xavier Legette coming back? I'm really rooting for him.
Hold on. What you mean getting back?
He's not getting back? He's done? Injured.
Yeah. When was he injured now?
2 weeks ago.
Did he not play last week?
I don't think. Did he? You think I'm watching Panthers games?
I know he played the first 2 weeks, and he
played the first 2 weeks. I think
we talk about analytics. If you go and look up Xavier Legette from an analytical perspective, you'll realize he's probably the worst wide receiver in the league, and it's unexplainable. There's this whole trend going on social media where people trying to figure out, like, why are you so bad if you so big? Like, you good at football. Why are you so bad?
And I feel bad for him because he's such a great character. And then he has, he got like the folksy southern drawl where if it was coming from someone else, I would say, like, that feels sort of like racism.
Yeah.
But it's coming from him, so it's folksy.
But back to the issue. I don't understand why Bryce Young is not producing more. He has a good running game. The wide receivers are there. He has a good tight end. I don't understand. Are you saying all
this to say the Panthers are going to cover? Because that's what I'm thinking.
I think the Panthers are going to win.
Okay. Carter's taking Panthers on the money line. I'm not trusting them as much, but I do trust it to be a close game. I'm saying the Panthers are going to cover. Eagles, Broncos. I think the Eagles dominate. Why do I have such a hard time trusting Bo Nix? Like, he's done so much.
Bo Nix has a hard time.
I just feel like any game he's on the verge of absolutely falling off a cliff. And I feel like the Eagles' defense can be the thing to just push him off that cliff. Terrible analogy. I want to make a less murderous analogy. I feel like this is the game I feel like this is a game where the Eagles' defense is going to dominate. I'm taking the Eagles on the money line in this one.
I'm taking the Eagles on the money line as well.
This one's going to hurt my heart. I know we only got like 7 minutes left, but I may need all 7 minutes to just talk about this on its own. Ravens, Texans.
How mad at you at the fact that Shador Sanders didn't want to be drafted by the Ravens?
I think it was incredibly stupid.
Because you would have had the perfect, get back right now.
I think it was incredibly stupid. Listen, I always believe that when you have a starting black quarterback, your backup has to be black. Because... No, seriously.
Where's Sean when you need him?
No, hold on. Jacksonville ran this play with Byron Leftwich. Let me tell you why. Because the most popular person in any town, in any NFL city, is always that backup quarterback. Because the minute things aren't going right, you know who everyone always wants to see and who people always believe in? The backup quarterback. That process is sped up so much more when it's a black starting quarterback and a white backup. So I believe to protect them, you got to double it up.
That's a fair assessment.
It is a very fair assessment. But Cooper Rush is starting this week. In terms of quarterbacks who I feel awful for, C.J. Stroud, because everyone is saying C.J. Stroud is regressing. And I'm like, no, he's not. There is not a lot of talent around him. And that offensive line is awful.
You want to have something funny? On this segment, Carter was right all along.
Oh, jeez.
Last season, at the start of last season, I said to these guys...
Don't do this to C.J. Stroud.
Hey, I said to these guys, C.J. Stroud is regressing. That was one.
He's not.
Hold on. And number two was the draft class with the guy from the Bears. I keep forgetting his name.
Caleb
Williams. Washington and Drake May.
Jaden Daniels and Drake May. Yeah.
I said that would go down as probably the best quarterback draft that we've seen.
No
in some
pushback
time.
against that.
Now, but last season y'all give me pushback. I was looking for the tapes last week. I can find them. I can find because I said that in the same show.
So
CJ Stroud.
Who's the third quarterback with CJ Stroud and Caleb Williams?
No, it's not CJ Stroud. I'm saying Drake May.
No.
Drake May, Caleb Williams, and
my bad.
Jade
so
Daniels.
who's in CJ Stroud's class?
No, I'm saying those were the 2 points I made. CJ Stroud was regressing, and that quarterback class has the potential to be, if not one of the best, the greatest ever. Those are the 2 points that I was basically, driven over the top for.
Anyway, we're gonna run through the rest of these really quickly. Cardinals, Titans. Tough game for me to pick. Kyler Murray versus Cam Ward. The Cardinals feel like they're almost there in every game. Yeah. So, but I feel like than the Titans right now. Right now. Cam Ward told you everything you needed to know about them if you saw that post-game press conference. He's very blunt about it. Seahawks, Bucks, Sam Darnold. This is the resurgence bowl because these were two quarterbacks that everyone gave up on. Sam Darnold versus Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has now entered this group where I am so afraid when he has the ball in late game situations because I believe he's going to get it done. I think the Bucks win this game.
I think the Bucks win this game, but the point I want to make about Sam Darnold is, Vikings, you sure? Like, you sure you make the right decision?
No, they're not. I thought that was a bad decision in that time, especially because J.J. McCarthy didn't throw the ball at Michigan. So why would you trust him to do that?
He threw the ball. He just got to throw it left. I've never seen this in an NFL quarterback before. Like, you can't. An entire half of the field is out.
Bengals, Lions, no reason to discuss that because Jake Browning is the quarterback. Chargers and Commanders, it's all dependent on the health status of Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Bills, Patriots, you have the floor with this one.
I know. I can say nothing, but I can't jinx it.
I'm taking the Bills.
Follow your heart. That's all I got to say.
My heart is telling me Bills. And Jaguars, Chiefs. The Chiefs look completely different once they have a fast person back on the outside. Xavier Worthy made that. It's a combination of Xavier Worthy and a horrible Ravens defense that made Patrick Mahomes look like Patrick Mahomes.
See, that's how I know Dolphin fans ain't real. Don't sell my Dynamite Dolphin D short. Pause.
Oh my God.
T Hill out, locker room pump, no problem, no pressure to throw to Hill. Big win.
There's not. It's the Panthers. Like, even if they win, that in no way, shape, or form can a win over the Panthers be considered a big win. And listen, I admire the delusion of being a Dolphin fan. I was one for decades. I'm now off that narcotic, and I would like other people to join me along with this because, like I said before, you guys do not have to live this way. It's okay for us to move on. They have not treated us well. We do not need to be in this abusive relationship anymore. Move on to a new franchise and find sports happiness somewhere else.
Clearly it wasn't at Baltimore.
Cardo, what did we learn today?
I learned that Bud Light is trying to send two players, or rather two people, to a Dolphin game coming up. So if you want to join, visit any of the Bud Light vendors. You could start out at Jimmy Wines and Spirits. There's a couple other vendors also available as a part of this promotion. You could jump into that sweepstakes, buy a couple of Bud Light, a 6-pack to be exact, and go ahead and earn a chance to win a trip to see the Miami Dolphins. I learned that everybody wins live. Perfect place to get your sportsbook career started. If you want to go, you want to bet big, you want to put your money where your mouth is, this is the perfect opportunity. Go to one of the 15 locations across New Providence or Grand Bahama, Long Island, Exuma. Sign up today and earn a chance to win big.
I learned today that we are on for 2 hours, and I learned that 5 minutes before this.
Shout out to White. But hey, last but least, next week when we do the show, we can be back in the studio. I can need my coffee. So the people that supply the coffee,
don't be cowards.
Make the coffee happen.
And remember, everybody wins, especially us. That'll do it for this week.
Okay, it looks like we have a couple more minutes to show our producer stepped away from the board. So you got me for 2 more seconds. Let me just say for the record.
So now you can actually talk more about the Bills?
I don't want to talk more about the Bills. I want to say something very, very specific.
Oh, go ahead.
How do you feel as a fan moving from the Dolphins over to the Ravens? Tell the truth. This is a conversation.
Oh, people have been asking me about this for the last few weeks, and I have a friend who's a cult fan, and he sends me these memes and stuff every time the Ravens lose. I feel absolutely great. I feel nothing in the fact that they're winning.
I mean, given the particular fact that Lamar Jackson is going through what he's going through.
He's not going through anything.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson's now at the point where none of these games matter. It only matters when we get to January. So you know what they're playing for? January. I will pay attention then. Lamar Jackson has done everything that needs to be done.
So
over
I'd
the
say
course
I'd
of the
say it
regular
like this.
season.
Yes, you guys are playing for January, but you have an issue where the teams that you're likely going to play in January, you've already faced both.
Oh,
of them.
the defense is garbage. I have no faith in the defense. I do have faith in Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, and I do have faith in us. That's about it.
All right. So if you want to join the conversation, like I said, you back to our podcast route. So if you want to join the conversation, you can hit us up on any of our social media platforms. That's 10YS on Twitter, Facebook. I think John has a TikTok page. He definitely has a, what's the Trump social media site?
Truth Social.
I don't know why we have that, but we're everywhere. So hit us up on social media, join the conversation. And again, thank you for joining us today.
See y'all next week.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com, Nassau, Bahamas.
AP News for Friday, October 3rd. I'm Ben Thomas. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says